Hi, imagine that 10% of the population you live in is sick with COVID-19 and that you have been tested for the virus. The test, which has 90% accuracy, comes back positive. So, at first sight, you might think that you got a 90% chance of having the virus. Well, an 18th century Englishman, Thomas Bayes, who invented the Bayes theorem, tells us that our intuition is wrong. What does the Bayes theorem say? It allows us to change our initial assumptions using new data, so using mathematics and not our intuition, which is often proven wrong. Now, we could use the Bayes theorem, but we can find the result of the Bayes theorem in a much more intuitive way, using emojis. Imagine that 100 people are tested for COVID-19. Out of 100 people, 10% or 10 people are sick, and 90 are healthy. They all take the 90% accurate test, and out of the sick people, 1 is tested negative, and 9 are tested positive. Out of the 90 healthy, 90% or 81 people are tested negative. But 9 people are tested positive. Those are therefore false positive. So, a person who tested positive despite being healthy. So, what's the probability of being sick when tested positive? Equals to the true positives divided by everyone that tested positive, or 9 divided by 18, which gives us a probability of being sick after being tested of 50%, not 90%. Now, I'll spare you the details, but you can see that applying the Bayes theorem gives us the same result, 50%. 50% chance means that you might as well flip a coin to decide whether you should stay home and eat potato chips all day or go to work. Remember, Bayes allows us to change our initial assumptions. I have 10% chance of being sick. Based on your data, I have tested positive to COVID-19, but only up to 50%, not 90%. So, does it mean that testing is useless? No, as if we test positive twice, we get a probability of 90% of being sick. That is why doctors tend to test you twice. Why was our intuition initially wrong? The key failure of our intuition is all those false positives. If the accuracy of a test increases to 99%, which removes most of the false positives, we get a probability of 92% of being sick, making the test reliable. So, the better the data, the better we can change our assumptions, and the more precise our final probability will be. The Bayes theorem is one of the most important in the history of mathematics and can be used from marketing to finance, insurance, AI, of course, COVID-19, and many, many more. Stay safe!